Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. We're so excited that you're here. If you haven't yet, go back to the YouTube channel and catch up on the episodes before this. It's such a great series. So today we're going to be looking at Job 26, and specifically we're going to be looking at verse 8. So the verse goes like this. He says, "He wraps up the waters in his clouds, yet the clouds do not burst under their weight." So I don't know if there's anybody else out there that connects with me on this, but I can be a little bit of a control freak. I like things a certain way. I like to plan things and get everything organized. For my graduation celebration trip that we did last year with my family, I had our itinerary planned to the hour. And some of you may think that is insane. Why would you do that? I know, but I like to plan ahead. I like to be prepared. I like to do the research on what's going on in whatever place we're going to. And so I had everything planned to the hour. As you can probably imagine, we didn't do not even 10% of what I had originally planned. Everything was changed. We ended up changing everything in it. Once we got there, nothing was the same. And so on the outside, I like to pretend that I'm go with the flow, calm, cool, and collected. On the inside, I am freaking out. And changing the schedule just for me was insane. I was like, why would we do this? I planned to be at this place at this time, this place, but nothing ever goes according to plan. And this happens a lot in our daily lives and our walk with the Lord. We have situations that come up and we have a plan. We say, God, we're going to go and we're going to do A, B, and C. I want it to be done like this. This is how I want my life to look out. And God looks at that plan and he's like, just kidding. We're throwing that out the window. We're not doing any of that. And so for a lot of us, that can be very difficult. We do not like to surrender control. So why is it so important for us to surrender control to God? It's because God has a bigger plan for us. And we may hear that a lot, that God always has a plan. And, sometimes we use that for everything, but it's very, very true. God has a bigger plan and a bigger purpose for each and every one of us. So many times I've been going through a difficult time, a difficult situation, and I'm like, God, why are you allowing this to happen? Why does it have to be this way? And I'm like, God, I want it to be resolved, but I want it to be resolved my way. So I'm fighting to give up control of the situation, even though I want God to step in and take care of it, but I'm still putting that limit on God that I want him to fix it the way I do. And God is like, if you give me control, I'm going to fix the situation and I'm going to resolve it and I'm going to take control of everything, but it may not be the way you want it to be. It's not always going to be the way we want it to be fixed, but God is in control and he will resolve the situation. And looking back, we can see how things were resolved in the best way and how things turned out was the best for us. Looking back at my vacation, even though everything I planned went out the window, it was still one of the best vacations I had. I spent time with my family. We had a lot of fun. We went and saw and did things that I didn't plan in advance. I didn't think we were going to do, but we ended up having a lot of fun and just spending time as a family. And even though it didn't go according to my plan, it was still one of the best vacations I had. And God doesn't ask us to give up control of our situation for his benefit, but for our benefit, because ultimately it's what's best for us. And our surrender doesn't always mean that it's a hopeless situation. A lot of times that we think that giving God control means that we lose hope and that we're waving the white flag to the situation and like, you know what, I give up. And while we are giving up in a sense, we're not giving up because it's hopeless. We're giving up because we're allowing God to step in and take control. We're not telling the situation, I can't. We're telling God, I can't, but you can. It's like a phrase we hear a lot. We're not telling God how big our situation is. We're telling our situation how big our God is. And that's so important for us to remember, that our surrender does not mean hopelessness. When we go back to Job 26:8, it shows us how he strengthens the cloud. It says very clearly, he wraps up the waters in his clouds, yet the clouds do not burst under the weight. There's an immense weight upon them, but they do not burst. Sometimes we feel like our situation is so heavy, we're carrying such a heavy load and a heavy burden, but God is there to strengthen us. God has covered us so that we are not going to fall apart under the weight. He will bear the weight for us. We just have to allow him to take control. The other verse that I like in this chapter is verse 14, where it says that it's just a whisper of his power. We do not humanly understand the capacity and the greatness of God's power and his strength, and the way that if we allow him to step in and take control of a situation, he's going to work it out. It's a whisper. We see just the smallest part of what he can do. We just have to allow him to step in and take control. So today I want to encourage you. I want to challenge you. Give up control to God and see how he resolves your situation. This is just the beginning of what he has for us. It's just a whisper of what is coming and the greatness and the power and the things that he wants to do in our life. We can't even begin to comprehend the limitlessness of God's power. So I encourage you, give up control. Hope God bless you. Have a great week.